Hello and welcome to the Women's Inspire Network show, our new show which will be interviewing business owners and finding out all about the humans behind the business. And my first guest is the beautiful Helena Tubridy, who is a fertility expert, and we're going to find out more about what she does. Helena, you're very welcome.
Thank you, Sam. It's so good to be here.
Well, do you know what? I'm just so happy that we're doing this because you have shown the world what a fertility expert you are. So would you like to tell us a little bit about how you got into this and your journey so far?
So I was a midwife in the UK. I was helping people preconceptually, right through pregnancy and way afterwards. A lot of my friends were having problems becoming pregnant and I was the go-to person. Then I was doing hypnosis, hypnotherapy, because my mum and dad had used it. My mother was a pharmacist. She had me with hypnobirthing, and layering up, studying, always learning. So there was a warning out about me. Do not go near Helena, you will be pregnant.
Oh my God.
And I suppose, the people I see are people who are mid-30s onwards into the 40s, people with endo, PCOS, secondary infertility, people who've had difficulties, lots of failed IVFs. So it really is, that sort of end. So I am the bridge between infertility and pregnancy. I am a medical professional, so I can unscramble for people all the clinic jargon, what questions to ask, what they should be doing. So it really is at their level, and it is helping them to make the most of IVF if they're doing it, and also to boost natural fertility. And it's for women, but it's also for the guys.
The guys, and you know what? It's such a hot topic at the moment, and I don't think people talk about the guys.
I am making it a hot topic.
Yeah.
I am a voice. As you know, I've completed my master's recently. So being a voice for people who are going through the infertility journey, who are using the clinics, the question of pricing, that people are afraid to talk about that. So I have really been raising awareness over the last, I've been doing this for the last 30 years. And over the last, say 12 years, I have really been raising the awareness to get people talking, to get people comparing, and to get our government to give free IVF, to support it, to regulate the whole business. So it's very exciting times.
It is, and I see you a lot, and you use social media a lot to get your message out there, don't you?
I enjoy social media. It's a great way of connecting with people, as you know, and you were my first trainer, my first mentor. Yeah. So getting going on Twitter was fantastic. Personally, it really was part of my journey, and to connect with a lot of people who might lurk, might not actually get in touch for a long time. One person was following my account for 2 years while she did lots of stuff, and it was like, I could see you were consistent, you were professional, you knew what you were talking about, the people you knew who interacted with you. So there was a lot of that, and I think that's where Twitter is absolutely superb.
Yeah, and you've been in the Sunday Business Post, you've been on TV. I mean, you're everywhere, and it's really good, and you're kind of known as the fertility expert. So
and I suppose, one thing leads to another. Once, I suppose, a lot of the clients I would have, it's word of mouth. I mean, most of what I do, it's always those connections. So-and-so came to you, she'd been written off, or she'd had, lots of recurrent miscarriage, or whatever had been happening. So that is really how it filtered out. And then I suppose, between, the Examiner, the Irish Times, the Elaine Show, all of these people picking up, and it's like, right, there's somebody who really does know solid research-based care. I mean, everything I do is based in research. There is nothing airy-fairy. There's no, like spurious studies. This is proper peer-reviewed research work. I use mind-body therapy, Ali Domar stuff. And, I suppose being able to stay connected, being current on what is happening in the fertility world, it's just wonderful. I love it. I never feel I'm going to work. I feel a bit of a fraud because I get to chat with people. Yeah. And like this morning, do you remember this morning, I got a missed call and then a text. It's like, I'm in the delivery room, I've just had my baby. This was somebody who'd waited so long. So it really is magical.
Yeah, it must make you feel so good to be able to give such joy to people.
I'm very, very lucky to be part of something that is so private, so personal, so elemental. Yeah. And again, as I was saying earlier, I am part of the journey, the whole journey. So, not every pregnancy goes to plan. For miscarriage, for pregnancy loss, stillbirth, fatal fetal abnormalities, all of that, I'm a therapist. I'm a mental health professional. So I can help people through that, through the trauma. And, I'm an EMDR therapist as well. So that means a very, very quick reduction of therapy.
Right.
And I have a major role for the guys as well. So I'm seeing more and more and more and more men coming, which is fantastic,
And what do you feel is with the guys? Okay, so do you find that they're reluctant to come to you, or when they do come to you, what do you find is the biggest fear, I suppose, that they have?
The biggest fear, I suppose, the sense of we're doing fine, we'll get there, and trusting in something outside themselves, like IVF being the silver bullet, and we'll keep battering away at that. I mean, people having 4 IVFs in 1 year is extraordinarily expensive, which nobody talks about, but it is so emotionally draining. It's actually devastating to have failed IVFs. It's an emotional roller coaster anyway. So the guys feel, I need to be strong, and they feel a sense of guilt sometimes. I can't get my wife, my partner pregnant, which of course is ridiculous. It's a 50-50, it's a couple's pathology, and there is no fault, there is no blame. And I suppose I'm very much in the idea of giving an overview, a perspective, a fertility audit, getting the fertility ducks in a row. Is everything in place? Could anything be better? How could it be improved? So once they come along and they realise this is actually about them as an individual, it's about their level of anxiety, their level of discomfort, even work-wise, helping them if they're going for a senior position, if they're having to do presentations. It's all about confidence. And the sexual angle is huge. Temporary erectile dysfunction is quite a common feature, as you can imagine. So helping the guys with that in something like 1 or 2 sessions. I'm a quick change artist. I love to see change happening quickly. The idea of people coming back and back, like signing people up, is so unhelpful. It creates a dependence, and it means you're not really doing your job properly if you've got to keep seeing people. I can do that, and I always see couples as individuals so that they can talk freely and just focus on them rather than being a couple, if you know what I mean. So,
and it's probably a bit, I don't know, you see it on Friends or whatever, that it's kind of mechanical, let's have sex while I'm fertile kind of thing. So I suppose, would you help them kind of look at it and get the romance back?
Absolutely,
and all of
that is probably when I see people coming in with big grins and they've started having multiple orgasms again, I know I'm doing something right. Sex is really important, and people kind of think, well, I'm having IVF so I don't need sex. And it's like, humans need a lot of sex. It really does help the whole hormonal angle. It helps the uterus. It is very, very, very important, very useful, and for the bonding in the relationship, and the fun, and living life while you're waiting for your baby.
Yes,
that is important.
That's a really good point.
Staying connected and reducing that driving anxiety that can, over time, cause such detrimental effects in the body and the mind.
So tell us a little bit about Helena herself. So we have some questions that we ask all of our guests. So we have some questions about what's your favourite quote?
My favourite quote is, actually it's an Abraham Lincoln one. And it is that if I had 8 hours to cut down a tree, I would spend 6 of those hours sharpening my axe. So, for fertility, preparation, like wallpapering, preparation is 9/10 of the job. So being in the right mindset, having all those fertility ducks in a row really is where it's at. Now there's loads of other quotes I love, but that one actually sums up what I'm doing. I'm able to give an overview, a whole perspective, guide people through the process, and be there for them at all stages.
Yeah, and you proved that today when you got the phone call this morning. You were there and you spoke to the lady, you were there for her.
And while I was waiting, actually, I was in the car, somebody was having an egg retrieval. So we were doing hypnosis, we were doing a little video call.
Wow.
So, that availability, it is a hand-holding process. And, being able, it gives me great variety.
And with technology, you're able to do that.
It's absolutely wonderful. And again, I did a training course with you quite a few years ago. And that sense, I remember you telling me then, you need to be able to connect, you need to be able to do it, you need to get confident. And I did. And of course, I'm a member of Women's Inspire. So I was making a list of all the people's services that I've used. And there was something like 10 people's services. I've made a will, I've sold a house, different solicitors, fabulous people.
Yeah.
Gráinne O'Donovan and Susan Make My Will online.
Yes, Susan.
And I've used Amanda Web Services. And gosh, I just can't think right now. All of the people. And also, I'm very proud of my Win baby. One of our members had, recurrent miscarriage.
That's
and
right.
she now has the most beautiful child. So,
That's amazing.
and I will field calls from people who are wondering about everything from sexual issues to getting pregnant, having another child or whatever. So I'm there for the WIN members as well. And obviously
wonderful,
it's not something we talk about, very sensitive, very private. So
Yeah.
I love that sense of connection, that sense of sharing that goes on.
It's so important, and that's why we're doing this show as well, because we want to reach out to people who maybe are thinking of starting a business. So for someone watching that is maybe thinking of going into your space or similar, what would be the biggest bit of advice you could give someone?
Oh, I think, being properly and solidly trained, proper credentials, that is what your credibility is about. Then you have the confidence to work with people, to know when to refer them to others up the line back. That I think is crucial, and continuous professional development.
Yes, you do that all the time. Yeah.
I never am without either selection of books or doing courses or whatever. I think that is really, really important, that solidity.
And I feel that you really look fantastic, Helena, if you don't mind me saying, because you just look so, you're glowing and you're healthy and you're kind of walking the walk, because you're going to be advising your clients to
Absolutely. I can't possibly
habits,
say to somebody, working with something like weight or anxiety, if I'm not in good condition. It's a bit like being on a plane, the sense of get your own mask on first,
yes,
then you can help somebody
yes.
else. So I really believe that in my own simple way, I do look after my diet, I do exercise, I do sleep, I live a fairly even life, because I am about health in mind, health in body, and the healthy mind and a healthy body, and steering your way through all the challenges that we have. And I've had some pretty serious ones too. So that feeling of staying healthy and enjoying life, and the mindfulness of the simplicity, a beautiful walk, a lovely view, all of those simple things I think are very, very, very important.
But also I find with you, you walk the walk, you're very confidential, so you don't share, stuff about babies and stuff and people, and you've had such high success rates, yet a lot of them have been celebrities, so you haven't been able to share it. And I like that about you, though. There's that integrity there, which is really important. But let's talk about you, Helena, again, and just ask, what was your first concert?
My very first concert was, I think it was actually Christy Moore down in Doolin, and I was incredibly elderly. I was 18, and these festivals, and I went off for a whole week and had the most amazing time. It was brilliant.
You would in Doolin, though, in
Doolin
fairness.
was just, the atmosphere
I love
back
Doolin,
then.
and the surfer boys.
Yeah, it was so good. So when I did go to a concert, I just totally got into it. It's like, gosh, there's a whole other world out there. So that was very exciting.
Oh yeah, that's cool. So that Christy Moore, that's interesting.
I can't remember anybody else.
I wouldn't
who
have
played,
seen you going to a Christy Moore concert. I don't know why.
You see, perceptions.
And what about your favourite movie?
My favourite movie has got to be the original Dr. Zhivago.
Oh.
David Lean's photography was stunning. The story was beautifully done. And The Shawshank Redemption. And I just really love With Nell and I. It's a little bit of a cult movie.
Never heard
And
of it.
Ben Moore and I, there's actually a group on Facebook, and we do the quotes.
Really?
It's just so funny, so evocative of 1969. So that is probably my all-time favourite movie. I would watch that again and again.
Okay, so you see, this is the thing. People, when they go to, they don't realise as well, you have this great sense of humour, this great sense of fun. You have this warmth and kindness about you as well, which I think shines through your tweets. It shines through everything you do in the Women's Inspire Network. So, you are very approachable as well. And I think that's why you've been so successful. So, well done, Helena. Well, before we go, a little bit of nugget business advice that you could give someone that's just starting a business in general, or thinking of starting a business, or thinking of putting themselves out there? Is there any advice you could give them?
Certainly. I mean, I just started. I just plunged in, and I think that was a great way to do it. You know, sometimes people do so much preparation and so much planning that it nearly holds them back.
Yeah.
You know, what's that singer that we love with the ginger hair? Ed Sheeran.
Yes.
Ed Sheeran failed every single one of his music exams. He flunked Fs in the most basic things. About, you know, I mean, one of the subjects is basically like, do you know any albums type of thing. So he dropped out of college after 1 year. He went busking, he went couch surfing. He just did it. He was good at what he did. I think, you know, you can try and pull from other people and you can try and follow molds and patterns. But I think if you're doing what you love and what you're naturally good at, I mean, it doesn't feel like work. And then you can start pulling in whatever you need as you go along.
That's kind of how I did it too.
I know, and I know a lot of people will look and say, gosh, that's a bit ad hoc. But certainly no day is the same for me. It never feels like work. I get such satisfaction. I mean, my work is so meaningful to me that...
well, you're following your passion as well. And I think that's a huge, important piece of advice to give someone that's watching, maybe to, if you're passionate about it, like, do it, you know, do what you love.
Do what you love, you're right.
Yeah.
And not, you know, the sense of I should do this or that looks a good thing, you know, kind of like, oh, you know, it's kind of like, what draws people to you? What are people seeking from you? What do they ask you? What are the conversations about? And moving that way. And it's rather like the way you teach people to use social media, that intuitive angle of building really solid relationships, you know, being available. I think being kind, being compassionate, being grateful.
Yeah, huge.
And keeping it, you know, keeping it real.
Keeping it real.
And I mean, I must say, because I work on my own and I'm a member of a lot of professional organisations and I do teaching and, you know, I'm quite occupied that way. I love Women's Inspire because I get to meet such a variety of people. I think it's a really excellent network for anyone who's starting up in business.
So thank you so much. So Helena, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for coming down to Wexford, and we look forward to connecting with you. What's your website?
I am helenatubridy.com, and I'm always available for a quick call. We call it now a discovery call, a quick chat to see, well, can I help? Is there anything else? Without any commitment.
Great. Thank you so much, Helena. Thank you so much for joining us. That was Helena Tubridy, helenatubridy.com if you want to check her out, and you could spread the word about her and follow her on Twitter as well. Thanks, Helena.